and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Thursday, November 1st, 2018.
Just going to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks has a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Always for your further homework.
Good morning, Sue here. Hope you've had a great week so far, and I hope you had a happy Halloween last night. I am filming this at about 9:15 on Thursday morning. It looks like the futures are going to start us off a little bit in the green, so we'll see where the day takes us. But with that, let's get into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index. I use the Russell as my simple proxy for the markets overall. I want to keep my processes simple, and I deem the Russell to be perhaps the most rate sensitive of the indexes. So it's the one I use as my proxy for the markets overall. As long as the Russell's moving higher, I'm looking at charts and adding names to my watch list, and when it's moving lower, I'm getting defensive and being careful. It's November 1st, so we get to look at the completed candle for the month of October, and look where it landed. We are looking at this chart is the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, and we're stepping back to take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. So we had drawn this purple line in several weeks ago as an area of possible support resistance, and look where price landed on the monthly candle for October. And what an ugly red candle it was with volume. So this area is going to be super important. This chart is pretty bare. The only indicator I have on here is this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. I use the 8-day as my guide. This is long-term support resistance, kind of ignoring it for now. So we're really zooming in on this purple line in the area that we're in right here, right now. So that's the monthly look. You can see where the Russell consolidated through the back half of 2017 and early 18, right around this purple line, and then lifted. So let's get into this area right here on the daily and the weekly. So let's move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly and take a look. Look, a doji so far on the week. It's Thursday, so today and tomorrow is going to be super important. Will this purple line hold as support, or will it fail and start to roll? It's anybody's guess. I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. It's just all about following price and what price is telling us. So this is the weekly look. Now I'm going to flip it over to the daily, but I want you to note price is below that 8-day EMA on the weekly chart. So let's go from the 1-year weekly to the 9-month daily, and look at how price is bouncing around and trying to get up and over our purple line. So it's encouraging to see price up and over the 8-day EMA on the daily, but price faded yesterday. It wasn't really a bullish day. It opened higher and closed lower, creating a black candle. So today I'm looking for, I want to see bullish follow through off this purple line. I want to see a day that starts strong and ends strong. So if that happens, I would be more tempted to wade in and perhaps review my shopping list of charts that look strong and in uptrends. So with that, I'm not going to put a new chart in front of you today, but I will review an old Chart of the Day Cafe pick that, should we get that strong day today or tomorrow, and price on the Russell start to pick up here, it might be worth taking a look at. And that chart that I wanted to flag for you this morning is Kirkland Lake Gold. This is a dual-listed Canadian company. We are looking at it on the U.S. side. The ticker symbol is KL. It trades on the Toronto Exchange and in the U.S. on the New York Stock Exchange. We are looking at it on the U.S. side. This is a gold mining company. It was formerly Newmarket Gold. We featured it at Chart of the Day Cafe back here in August when it hit this area of support, thinking that it might lift, but it had this little dip down. But when it did move up and over our area of support, it had a nice run up. It's now sitting right back at that area, and I think it's one to watch in the days ahead should gold start to lift in this area. Let me go over the scores with you, because you know me at Chart of the Day Cafe. I'm all about the fundamental scores underneath my chart. Kirkland Lake, I'm checking the scores this morning, has an excellent value score, like really high value score, with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 41%. That's a big wow number as well. A current PE of 11.64, and it has a small dividend yield of 0.46%. So with that, let's get back to the chart. We're looking at the 2-year weekly. As I mentioned, it's a fairly new company, so it doesn't go back that far. You can see on this 2-year weekly chart that this is an area of support resistance. We had this beautiful consolidation here in the middle of last year, then lift. It came in, it made a higher low, and it's come in again. I love the volume that came in here. I love this bar and the area that we're in right here, right now, this area of support. We'll see if it does offer that support. So that's the weekly look. Let's go take a look at it on the daily. So here's the 6-month daily. That's where we put it out formally, Chart of the Day Cafe. It's all about, I always say in my videos, it's all about price moving up and over the blue 8-day EMA. We were expecting that it might, so it never triggered a buy. It stayed below the blue until this area in here, and I am watching it over here to see if it can get up and over my blue 8-day EMA. I use a 3 and 8 cross, a 3 EMA crossing the 8-day as my trigger. So I'll be keeping an eye on Kirkland Lake Gold in this area. Along with the chart that we are reviewing, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that we're looking at XME, which is the ETF for the metals and mining space. 5-year weekly chart, you can see that it's been trading sideways for the most part in the last couple of years, but it's at this area of support, up and over that area of support. So when I look at this chart and I think of Kirkland Lake, which is already in an uptrend, it's one of the stronger components of that metals and mining space. So if the ETF is trading flat and perhaps lifting here, I like to pick one that's already in an uptrend. So nice to see support here on the ETF. I'm also going to include a recent interview on BNN with, let me see if I can get it into my screen. Peter Imhoff discusses Kirkland Lake Gold. He has some favorable things to say about it, so I'll include a link to that interview with my video today as well. And so to quickly recap, let's go back and check the boxes for Kirkland Lake. I started today's video with a look at the markets, and we can see that the markets overall are not in an uptrend anymore, so I'm not checking this box. We've got a doji so far on the week. The markets will tell us which way they want to go, but I'm not checking that box yet. Hopefully next week we can check it. We looked at Kirkland Lake. It's in an uptrend on the 1-year chart and at an area of possible price strength continuation, emphasis on possible, we'll see. We looked at the sector that it's in. XME is trading sideways on the 2-year chart, but it's at an area of support, so we're checking that box, check that box. Kirkland Lake has an excellent, excellent value score, an excellent growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 41%. Current dividend yield of 0.46%. It does not have that 3 EMA daily cross that I look for, so that's not checked. It's got seasonality in its favor. Gold is in seasonal favor at this time of year. It does have analyst support as per the interview I'm including with today's video. It's got a current PE of 11.64, and they are past earnings, and they did well with their earnings. So with that, I will leave you. Enjoy your weekend, and we will put out another video next Tuesday.